Well, hi, Sacha Black.
Hello, how are you?
I did get a puppy.
Oh,
What
I'm
the
so excited.
hell?
What's your puppy's name?
Oh, you are not ready. You're not ready. Take a deep breath. Professor Junebug.
Oh my
Told you you were not
God.
ready.
Like Prof for short, or Junebug for short,
We
or
call
oh
her
my
the
God.
professor or Junebug
Oh, I
or
love it.
JB or PJ or Judy June or Guttlebug or it's just like lends itself to everything. But really, I think the professor is the cutest. Like I picked June. We went through 500 names and Lala is the professional namer in the family, but I came up with Junebug and it suited her so much. And we're like, it's not quite there. And then she added the honorific and we're there. We're there. And she's
I love it.
and like I didn't want a puppy. I wanted an adult dog, and there were no adult dogs because apparently Kiwis are responsible. And at the pound, there were only puppies, and they brought us a couple of puppies, and we thought, no, that's ludicrous. We cannot have a puppy. And then they brought her in, and we're like, oh shit, we have a puppy.
That's so funny.
She's
Oh,
about
that's lovely.
6 months
But are
old, and
you
she starts school tomorrow.
okay?
Thank you, Jesus. We're
Okay.
gonna start obedience tomorrow. We've been doing obedience here, and but I need an
Okay.
expert.
What about like the poop and sleep situation? Because puppies are like
It's
notorious being identical to newborns.
it's really great, honestly. Like she was probably surrendered, we figure, as soon as she could be weaned from her mother. So, 12 weeks. And then she
Right.
was in the kennel where they do not house train at all. They can't. So she had no skills, but she's only had a couple of pee accidents, nothing else. And we've had her for like 3 weeks now. She's pretty much house trained and she sleeps through the night. She loves to
What?
she loves to get up with me when I get up at like 5:30 or 6, and then she goes outside, does her business, and then she just goes and trots back to the bedroom door and then sleeps with Lala till she gets up at like 10. So
Okay,
it's
yeah. So it is really
perfect.
helpful when you have a morning person, though. Yeah, that
Exactly. Yeah. I
definitely
mean,
makes a difference. Yeah.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
she just wants to sleep and cuddle, and she's just a little sleeper. And we crate failed her for bed sleeping the very first night because, we want her to sleep on the bed. We want her to sleep on her feet. So, and then we're crate chaining during the day. And I tell you what, we were super overwhelmed. We were overwhelmed with a puppy. And then our friend Patty, our dog who stays with us, like, he used to come over like once a week when we lived on the other side of town. He stayed with us for 4 days because his parents were out of town. And so we had Junebug and Patty, and their energies were exactly opposite. And they just clashed in the house and threw each other around. And Junebug lost everything she'd ever learned, except for potty training, thank God. And it was so stressful. Lala and I could never be in the same room together for those 4 days because we had to have a dog with us at all times, like attached to us by a leash. And so Patty went home yesterday, and now I'm like, puppies are easy. This is great. So I recommend anybody overwhelmed by a puppy, just get another dog for a while.
There's that kid's story though, isn't there? About like I used to read it to Atlas, and the story was basically about this woman who was complaining that her house was too small, and so she goes to this person who's like the wise man in the house, and then he's like, bring a chicken in your house anyway, and then she goes back to this wise man, she's like, it's a nightmare, the chicken's like putting eggs everywhere and pooping everywhere, and he's like, so get a pig, bring a pig into the house anyway. And this story goes on, and by the end of it she's got like 17,000 animals in this house, and she literally can't even like walk into the house. And then she goes back to the wise man, and he's like, take all of the animals out of your house. And then she goes back and she's like, my house is enormous. Like,
That is
just
exactly what happened. I could not recommend it
literally.
more highly. So it's just been so great. And I don't know if you feel this with the kittens, but like just a pet or two makes a home. It really, really does. Something about it is so they're just, balls of love. They're not
I
humans.
think
They don't have, vengeance. Well, most of them don't have. I used to have a cat with a vengeance, but it's there's just so much love.
yeah, that's the thing. And I think when you spend a lot of time in your house, like
Yeah.
working in your house, the energy changes. Like, not to be too woo-woo, but like the energy definitely changes when you have a pet in the house. Like, I remember when they went to get neutered, and I couldn't believe, like, even that day, I was just like, like, and it's just everything goes flat when they're not here. So yeah, they're like a little life force of joy, I think, apart from when they're like shitting and pissing everywhere, and then I'm like super cross, but apart from that, it's lovely. How's your
Yeah,
treat?
yes. My retreat was awesome. It was I think I was in that woman's house with all of the animals and stuff. Like, it was so small and it was so cluttered with things. There was literally not a space to put a cup down. Like, I had to move several things just to put. I've never been in a place like it was almost a hoarder's house, but an Airbnb. Um, that aside, it was fantastic, and it was right on the water, and the problem was it was 6 days after we got the puppy, and I had planned it for forever, and it was too late to cancel, and I missed Junebug and Lala, but I got a ton of work done. I realized that my retreats are my rejigger time. Like, that is when I go, I'm always preaching to students, like, you have to rejigger your goals on or as you folks say, rejig. Americans say rejigger. Uh, I do that on a daily or weekly basis. Like, I rejig everything, but then on a quarterly basis, I need to go away and go, okay, I thought I was going to be doing this for quarter two. What am I actually going to, I don't do quarters. I loosely do quarters, but I like look at the months ahead and what am I actually going to be doing? How do I need to move things to actually suit what's going on? And there was a ton of time for that. I read like 4 books. There was a hot tub. I went on long beach walks, and that was all I did. And yeah,
Yeah, because I was going to say, I seem to remember the last time you don't like go to write all of the words, you go
I
to
don't.
like do the thinking, all of the thinking and all of
Yeah.
the journaling and all of that stuff. Oh, it
It's
sounds so
like
restorative.
it's the ultimate intellection, which is my number 2. Like, it is the ultimate intellection gift. It's just lying around, excuse me,
Mm.
reading and thinking, and then reading some more, and then thinking some more. I read a book I want to recommend. If you haven't read it already, maybe you recommended it to me. What Works by Tara McMullen.
Mm-mm. I
Mm,
haven't read
on
that one, no.
second thought, it might challenge you
Oh dear.
in
In
a
the
way
good
that
way
you'll
or
want
the
to.
bad way?
Well, so Tara is incredibly driven, like we are, and I can tell that she doesn't talk about Clifton Strengths, but I can tell that she is extremely high competition, and it is her kind of reframing goals and what they mean. And also, like, there's a lot of talk about letting go of goals and not quite like quit, in a very different way. I could see your face just like, no, maybe it's not for me.
Well, I loved Quit though.
You
That's the
did.
interesting. I really enjoyed Love. I really, really enjoyed Quit. I thought it was great.
Give it a
And I
shot.
really
I thought
okay. What's it
what
called again?
works. What works.
What works? Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
will
liked it a
I
lot.
will write this down. Yeah, I will write this down. What works?
So yes, my retreat
Perfect.
was lovely, and I'm back, and I finished classes yesterday, so I have April off. And you will laugh. I was journaling yesterday. I was like, I think I'm going to take vacation, real vacation. And then I wrote a page about what my vacation was going to be like. I was going to take 2 whole weeks off in April. Like, not right. I always not teach for a month, but not right. Do not do anything. And then I was like, but I would like to do that, and I would like to do that. And
Yeah.
basically, my whole job came back in my journal. I was like, but my
Yeah.
achiever will be so miserable if
Yeah.
I make myself go on the retreats, because by that 3rd day I am itching to do more and to work more, and it is good practice for me. I can't do that for 2 weeks, so I talk myself in and out of a vacation in April. That's what I did.
The only kind of vacation where I can do like so we go on a lot of like city breaks or adventure type holidays.
Yeah.
Because I love the input, the learner, like seeing all the things, doing all the stuff. But we are also a family who loves to lie on the beach. I'm that kind of holiday. I still remember. I don't know if I've ever told this before, but when Chloe and I used to go on holiday pre-child, I would just like stuff the suitcase with paperbacks. This was like before I had a Kindle, and Chloe was always like, "Oh, you can't take more than 5. You can possibly read more than 5 books in 2 weeks." And I was like, "Oh, honey,
In
and
2 weeks. I
oh
couldn't
no,
read 5
don't."
in 2 days.
I know exactly. And so I remember this one holiday we went to Turkey, and I packed the bags, so I just kept slipping books in. And then when we got there, she unpacked these books out. How many fucking books have you brought? And I was like, there's more than single digits. And the funny thing is, I read all of them. And then I had to go and borrow books from like the hotel. I think I read like 16 books in 2 weeks or something nuts that time. Yes. It was like a book a day about that point. But then I was like, yes, see. And now I have Kindle, and there's no arguments.
Kindles are good for everyone. This beautiful rapturous thing happened, and you will appreciate this. The day before I left for the retreat, accidentally, like, not only did I have all the books that I'd purchased recently on the Kindle and in paperback, but like 8 library books came to me. They're just like, oh, this one on hold is for you. This one came. I got them all. I just got them all, and I dumped them all in. So it was. I just had such a richness.
Yeah,
and you know the Kindle timing. Trick for library books, right? Do you know this one?
No.
If you get books from the library on your Kindle, if you turn off wireless, if you go airplane mode, when the books are due, it won't strip them from your Kindle. However, it will strip them from your account so the next person in line can get it. So you're not keeping it from anybody. And it has to be on a Kindle, like a Paperwhite or probably the Scribe. It can't be on your phone because your phone is going to connect to wireless, and then it will know, oh, the time is up.
So how do you get an app to do that? How do you get it to do that onto your Kindle though?
It's all through Amazon. So when I go to my library, I say, I want to borrow this book. And then it shunts me over to Amazon, and I'm on the Amazon page. And instead of pay $9.99, it says borrow. And then you push the buy button, and it goes directly to your
physical local library.
Yes. Yeah. I actually am still on Oakland, and I have Wellington because I'm a greedy whore. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I had no idea. I might have to go and investigate my local library then.
Absolutely. You should absolutely do that, because not only will they have a lot of the books that you want to read, but you can be a requester. And if you're a requester, you're the first on the list. So a lot of times I will read a review of a book coming out. I'll put it in my calendar because I'll know that, like, I'll see something a publicist has sent me, and I'll want that. I want to read that book, but I don't want them on the show. So I don't want to ask for the NetGalley. And then I'll request it like the week before, and I'll be the first person, and I'll just get it the week it comes out for free. And the author's getting paid. So it's just, it's just win. And it's all Amazon Kindle in that ecosphere.
I wonder if it's the same system in the UK, because I know that the American library system's like different, but I will go and investigate.
They use Overdrive to send it. So Overdrive is the one that powers between the library and your Kindle, and they do the same thing in New Zealand. So I wonder if Overdrive does it in the UK.
I will investigate.
Okay.
I will put that on my list to come back and be able to tell you next week.
All right. I'm going to turn tables on you. Yeah. Tell me what you have been doing. Catch me up.
So we recorded, because I checked, we recorded on the 21st of February last time. So it was a few days early.
So it's been 5 weeks now.
Yes. And I started book 2 the day before we recorded. I don't know if you remember.
I do remember.
Yeah. So I'd literally written like the first, 4,000 words. And I was 2 minutes late to this, wasn't I? And the reason is because I have been chasing tail. Not only did I write the book, I've just finished editing it, and you are the first person I've told. I haven't even told my wife because I had to get on this call.
Are you
I have written
freaking kidding me? Congratulations. And also, like, number 2, even bigger, and I know you feel this way, you proved to yourself that system you figured out works. It wasn't a one-off.
It was not. No. So this is the 3rd book I've done. So this is the crazy thing, right? My activator is such a lying whore, and I just have like no ability to be reasonable with timescales or to understand time. Like I get very, very disillusioned with how long things are taking. And this is one of the lessons learned that I've kind of written in my coaching, that I need to be better at, because I track every day. I track everything. But I'm not necessarily cognizant of that data whilst I'm in the drafting period. And that's what I need to be better of, because so I started on the 20th of February, and I finished drafting on the 21st of March. But in that time, I actually only sat at my desk 12 times to draft this book. Yeah.
Oh my
So,
God.
Yeah. So I really need to reel the shit back in on myself and just be a little bit more aware that things are going faster than I think they are. But
Yes.
I can't tell you, like, I really thought, and I think this time it was a little bit because I wrote 30K in January and then binned the whole lot. So I think my brain was still like attached to January, and it was March and we were still writing this book, and therefore it had taken 3 months. But actually, Activator's a liar, and that was not at all the case. So yeah, and then I started editing on Friday, and I literally finished 2 minutes into this call.
I am so excited for you. Good job. And how much of a jerk are you that you can edit a whole second draft in a week? Like that that's you do some clean, but but you had the plot, so you knew where you were going.
Yeah, I had to deal with a lot of doubt this time, I think, because obviously the first book was such a rush of like pure joy, pure just like vomit, and it was just all fun. I then put myself through the ringer on this one, but actually, like, having just finished editing it, there are only 2 sections I'm actually worried about, and so I just need to shut the fuck up and stop being a knobhead, basically. Because I know how to write books, and just shut up, Sacha. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yes.
Like I had to give it to my wife slightly early, so she's got the first half of the book whilst I was like editing the second half, because I just needed the feedback. I was like, just tell me if it reads the same. Is it the same pace? Is it the same fun? Because I was like, I feel like I've lost my phone, and like, you know, all the rest of it, which is just utter nonsense, because it's such a roller coaster. Why does this creative journey have to be so emotional?
And it doesn't stop. It doesn't get easier. However, but if it did, don't you think that some of the fire would be gone? I mean, if it was just like, oh, it's so easy, you know?
Yeah.
That wouldn't
be so wise.
I am so proud of you. What a huge accomplishment. Congratulations. How are you going to celebrate today or this coming weekend for doing this?
This weekend I'm not working, so this is another reason I was super determined to finish today, so that, because then tomorrow I've got to do all the stuff I was meant to do today, because today's my like meetings and podcast day.
Yeah.
And I've got like some freelance and blah blah, but my sister-in-law's coming up with the kiddos, and so we're just gonna have like a nice family weekend. But I'm going to Seville, 20 Books Seville this month, and then London Book Fair. So I kind of feel like there are 2 kind of fun work but fun things that are coming up anyway, so that's enough. And possibly celebrate by, I don't know, plotting book 3. My achiever is also a whore for work.
I love that we both have incredibly high activator and achiever. It's just, that's the power combination. Then thank Jesus for it. Oh my gosh. So how does it feel now about this book?
Yeah, because, oh my goodness me, like, I just feel so many things, because this one put me through the emotional ringer much more than the first one. And so I was like, oh my God, what if I can't be as excited? What if I can't this or that? And actually, like, I am all of those things. Like, I saw some real sparks in the book. And so I was like, actually, you know what? You know, I am all of the things. And I don't know what because here's the thing. If I land the twist that I was trying for, then it's going to be better than book 1.
Oh my God. I can't wait to read it, by the way. BT dubs. Cannot wait.
But if I haven't, then it's going to really flop.
Now,
I think I'm nervous.
Do you do a developmental edit, or do you go straight into copy edits? What is your process?
My beta, my critique partner, we do extremely detailed reads. So we do inline comments, we do like answering questions for each other, and then we'll brainstorm like solutions back and forth. So that and that feels very much like the kind of developmental edit that you would get. I have got a new editor this time who has said that typically they do like 3 rounds, so they'll do all 3 rounds for their clients. And I said, well, I have got this process of like critiquing with my friend, and she did the first book, and you know, hey, I loved the first book, so obviously her feedback was amazing.
Yes.
But so we'll see. And I just said to the editor, like, if there's stuff that you pick up, fine, we'll add an extra week in and we'll do that. If not, then just go straight to copy. So yeah, that's kind of the process. Amazing. Is normally critique.
And when does it release? Oh, you have a longer pre-order, but you might move it forward. Is that what I heard in a podcast? Yeah. And you can move it forward.
I know. Well, I'm going to wait until I hear back from my critique partner, because like maybe I did it so fast that it's actually just a pile of shit. Who knows? It's not. You know, it's but not. You know, yeah. I know it's not. No. But also I don't know how, because this one's like 10 to 15k shorter, so I don't know actually if there are some things that need adding still, and I kind of have a feeling that maybe I've skimmed on some areas that need a bit more, but yeah, I reckon I'm going to aim for late May, early June. So I can't believe it.
Amazing. I'm so proud of you. That is so cool. That is so flippin' cool.
Ellie, I keep saying to Ellie, I don't want to write a book a month, and she was like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, no, I don't. And she's just like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, oh, you're so mean and not inaccurate. But here's the thing, I don't want to be on the treadmill, right? And I actually want a bit more balance, and I also don't want to wreck my hands, because writing this fast does have physical consequences. So even though I can do it, I don't think I want to. I think I would like, I've always said 6 books a year, and that feels like I could then have holidays with the kid, and I could still, you know, go and do speaking things or whatever. So yeah, I think I want to retain the capacity to write that quickly, but not necessarily do it month on month on month. So yeah,
do it when it works, when you look at your calendar and fit it in and it feels good, and you look at everything else that you're doing. It sounds like you're really working towards balanced hard work, which is what you love. That is.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like I want to get a backlist in this genre.
Yeah.
And so I'm sort of willing to write a bit faster and work a bit harder, just to get that sort of those first, you know, 3 to 6 books. And then once I've got that, actually, then I will not work quite as hard or fast, because I like holidays.
And being able to afford holidays because of what your books are doing. And so, so you've had the pre-order going, and you've had sales going for this book while you've been writing, which is amazing.
So it's not gone as quickly, the pre-orders, as the first book pre-orders did, but I've done nothing, like nothing at all. Not even sure if I've really announced that the pre-order is out, but I also had the sign up link to the mailing list as the first link in the back of the book, and in about 5 weeks I had over 400 subscribers. So, you know, it's not stacks and stacks, but it's quite a big sign up rate proportionately. You know, I've had, I don't know how many sales, probably approaching 1,500 to 2,000 sales now, but so it's a good proportion. That's
amazing. That's like that's unheard of. You would be lucky to get 1 in 10 usually. Just really? To sign up in the back of the book. Yeah, that is huge. That is people opting in, saying, I want to be on this journey with you. Do not let me go. Keep me with you.
Yeah. Well, that's encouraging then. Yeah, I was like, I have no data to go by, because I completely fucked the first series, fucked the mailing list, fucked all the auto response, everything was broken and ruined and bollocksed it all up. So this time I've got no data to compare it to. Hello, competition number 1 needs to compare to other stuff. So it's just, what a wonderful journey we are on. That's all I can say. So
that is brilliant. That is brilliant. Okay, so what are your plans for the next couple of months then?
Okay, so that I like shat the bed a little bit, because I was like, oh, like book one's doing well. I've definitely got, I'm almost at, I probably have 45% of the pre-orders for book two that I had in total for book one digital pre-orders I had, because the paperback's not live yet, and I've not started marketing. So even though it's not, we're not talking about hundreds and hundreds, proportionately that seems like quite a lot.
That does seem quite a lot.
Like,
and you have done nothing. You've done nothing except for
I've
let
done
people
nothing.
read the book.
And the pre-order link is the second link, and everybody knows you only get the first link click anyway.
Exactly.
So realizing that, I was like, I'm supposed to write nonfiction next, and then I was like, what am I gonna do? What am I supposed to do? And so this week I was just like, I need to think strategically. And then I was like, you know what, because of the pace that I can write at, delaying 1 extra month or 6 weeks is actually not the end of the world. I tend to only release one nonfiction book a calendar year. And I released in August last year. So even if I release in November this year, that's still this year. And I've been very, very consistent at releasing one a year. For some reason in my head, hello, activator, lying about time, I did that in a lot shorter space of time. And then when I actually looked at the data, it was one a year. So I was like, okay, fine. So I am going to do book 3. So yeah, that is my plan. Do book 3,
so cool.
Seville and all the rest of it.
Also, most people will not watch this on the video, but some people will. Your face just lit up when you said that. I am going to do book 3. But I love what you said right there about, our activators being liars. I have really been thinking a lot about looking at the real data, not my hopeful data, because I know what I could do on my best day. And I will always plan for me having my best day from here on out. But the actual real data shows that I do a shit ton. It's just not the shit ton that I want it to be. But I can look back at that and say, okay, this is what I'm actually going to do. This is how it, this is how it actually works. I don't put out 4 nonfiction books a year. What is your next nonfiction? Is it the villain one? I can't remember.
So I have got a few. So I was doing the 500 words a day. And I managed that right up until I got to about 50% in the fiction book. And then the focus tunnel kicked in and I was like, I can't split my brain anymore. So I'm going to use that method. But I can't do it all year round. So I'm sort of going to do that leading up to things. So I've got a few thousand words in that book. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. We just flex and find the way that works for us. So yeah, I've got a few thousand words in that, but there's a couple of other books that I want to write, nonfiction wise. And so I have been saying to everyone that it's going to be the villain's journey, and it might be the villain's journey, but it might not. So yeah, but
you're beholden to no one.
Exactly.
You get to decide what it's going to be.
But you've been doing your creative one, so tell me about your writing. Like, where are you at with your writing? And
I'm still at this frustrating point, but I have been doing the 500 words a day, and it looks more like 750. Because this is so stupid, but you will understand. Like, I started that 500 words a day journey, a month and a half into 2023. But I really have this number in my head that if you write 500 words a day, then you get 180,000 extra words for the year just by doing this 500 words a day. So then I'm like, well, I missed those words. But if I put 180,000 words into Pacemaker, it'll tell me exactly what I need to do. And right now it's 681. So I might as well write 750. So I have a few extra to make up for the days that I don't do it. So I'm still calling it 500 words a day. But I mean, I get 500 words a day. 500 words is nothing. I'm just getting a little bit of steam. So it's super easy to, it's not easy. It's impossible not to go a little bit farther for me. So that's what I've been doing every day. And I've been using it for the next nonfiction and for Patreon essay, which I really need to work on today because it's the 31st in New Zealand. I need to get that out. Vala and I just keep saying, can we please have a week where nothing is happening? But March was taken up 10 days. We had a house guest and we were traveling a lot in New Zealand around seeing things. And then we got the puppy, but I have still been managing to write and get work done. And my plan was April. I sent an email to my agent last week that said, April is my month to self-publish 7 Miracles. You've had it for, it's been out on editors' desks for, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks. That is long enough in my book. It has been rejected by most of them. Really good rejections. Like, we took it to sales, loved it. Can't get the buy-in. I'm so sorry, kind of thing. And I said, so April, I will self-publish it. Please, just letting you know, that's what's happening. I'm getting the cover. I'm getting the final copy edit. It will go. I should probably tell my copy editor that, or ask her if I can fit it in, and then get it published. And she immediately, she wrote back and sent me this email that an editor had just sent her that said, I'm loving it. I'm enraptured. I must have this book. I've got to take it to sales. So now, but I'm waiting again. But this person seems even more passionate than anybody else has been. And there's been some passion about it. So, and I'm still in this place where I'm lazy enough. Okay, here it is. I'm lazy. I'm never lazy, but I would love to hand off all the work to them. Give me some money. You do the cover, you do the release, everything. Even though Trad has burned me, I'm like, it'd be easier, but they probably want a 2-book deal is what they have been talking about. So then I'm like, I'll just be easier and I'll have to write a book real quick. So it doesn't really. So
it's
I'm
almost
going to,
like you really need like a 90 days to done type situation with book 2.
Interesting. That will absolutely have, and and this one was the best of fastest I've ever written a book. And I wrote and revised it in 5 weeks, just like you. And I had this process that worked perfectly. So I know that I could do that again if I need to, but I've kind of lost the passion for that project. I have not even looked at it in months. I don't even know what I would write about for a second book, but I'm sure, I would come up with it but I would be in the same kind of place you are, like, because that book was all fun, all passion, everything I loved. Can I harness that lightning again? It scares me a little bit to, like, could I? I don't know.
So I'll tell you what I've learned, right? You definitely can, because there are always like moments of that spark, like in the second one. But here's what I have realized. There are certain things that set my world on fire, and certain tropes and certain like moments in scenes or certain emotional points. And so we are creatives, we are artists, right? We can take all of those things and put them in a different book with a completely different style and a completely different story, and still get all of the crack pennies that we need from it. And so when is this going out? No, this is only going to our patrons, isn't it? Okay, so I rather than doing like enemies to lovers, assassin, heist, all of that stuff, I am going hardcore rivals to lovers, but in a competition, so that they're going head to head against each other in a competition situation where they're competing to be the best of the best. And I was like, there are so many ways. So now I'm like so fucking excited to do book 3, and I literally cannot wait. But
that,
like, just take all the things that you loved and
it's hilarious about you saying that. Number one, it's beautiful. Number two, it just blew my mind, because I'm like, yeah, I know that when I'm writing a story, I'm going to hit a few moments that will give me energy pennies, and it never really crossed my mind just to, like, it's basically butter. It's thinking about the butter, the universal fantasy butter, before you write the book, planning it in. Oh, yes. Oh my God. I just remembered a book. Oh my God. I remembered another book that I wrote much like 7 Miracles. It was butter. It was all butter. And my agent hated it. And it kind of like devastated me. So I never looked at it again. This was last year, I think. And I just realized I still love that book. Why is it in a drawer? It's all butter. It's butter.
oh my God.
It's in a drawer because I forgot about it. Honestly, I literally forgot about it till right now. But that was so fun. That was like my Marie Kondo wants her stuff back book. So
see, we just like it is crazy that we just forget we just have to give ourselves permission, take all the shit that we love and put it in a fun story. And we can do that over and over again, and they're all so different. Like, I'm not gonna want to write this, the same thing over and over, because there are other parts of me that want other butter and other, whatevers. But this is this series, and like, so I'm just like, this is all about female power, female rage, and really fucking competitive people. So I'm like, let's do a literal competition this time. And you just got to keep tweaking. That we are creative geniuses. We can do this.
And you throw in the hot sex of your books. Fantastic.
Exactly.
Hey, I hung out with I interviewed yesterday Caitlin for my show. So I didn't know that you write with her 5 days a week.
Not 5 days a week. So we do 3. We do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah. And you just get together on Zoom with the 3 of you and you just write. That's so cool.
2 of us, just me and Caitlin.
Oh, Caitlin, did she mention Carrie too? No, wait, who's the other person?
Oh, she does the other days. So the Tuesday and the Friday, she does with her other friend. Yeah. Who I think is also called Kate.
That's why I got confused because that's the 5 days that Caitlin is doing, and she's showing up on Zoom every day, every 5 days a week to sit there and do words together. So that is so cool.
Have done it for months and months and months and months and months. Yeah. And it's really good, like a focused short burst, like, and the routine of knowing that we need to do the work is I love her. She's lovely.
Yeah, she's wonderful. Speaking of focused short bursts, I am one other thing that I decided for April is that I'm taking the month. So I have the month off of teaching, and I'm taking the month off of Rachael Says Right, which is 2 hours on Mondays and Wednesdays in the afternoons. I farmed it out to my assistant is doing one day, and another person who always goes to that is doing the other day. And so I'm not charging her for the sessions, and because she's awesome. And so I'm really going to kind of honor that insulation. I just want to spend April not taking care of anyone, just thinking about my work and going super, super heads down in that. So that is what I'm looking forward to for April. And I will either be self-publishing 7 Miracles, if this editor rejects, and then I will have Susanna pull the book from all the other agents, all the other editors. We never have heard back from the Amazon imprint, and I will have her like insist on an answer. And that's one I'm most interested in. And if I'm not self-publishing that, then I will be revising the fix for her either to take out or for me to self-publish, and that'll be fast. So that's my April.
And when are you drafting new? Because you're drafting new still now, aren't you? So and that is this the 90 Days to Done book?
It's a couple different nonfictions. It's the 90 Days to Done book. It is a mindset book that I'm working on. I feel like I'm missing something in there. The mindset book. And then I'm also, those are the 2 things I'm drafting. And I'm also thinking about pulling together a couple of collections of essays for Kickstarter. And gosh, they're all lining up on the runway. But the New Zealanders is pretty much done with this epilogue that I'm writing today. So what can I pick your brain for 1 second? What do you think?
Yeah, but I'm just laughing because Jo has clearly convinced you to do a Kickstarter.
She's the worst.
I love her.
And I think she's right. Yeah. She's so right. She's so useful though. Like she is like, and she's always ahead of the curve. And then she thinks about things really clearly and then figures them out. And the smart ones of us listen and follow.
Just run after her. Wait a minute.
Exactly.
Let me catch up.
So the thing is that like if I kickstart the New Zealanders, I think that would be a much smaller Kickstarter because the people who are on my mailing list, I have a lot of people on the mailing list, but a lot of them are there for creativity, right? They're not there for a moving around the world memoir, but they are there for my voice. So it could be kind of like she did Pilgrimage. It could be kind of like a sample run at Kickstarter just to kind of see how it works, how it feels. And then when I do I'm thinking of doing 3 collections of creative, like helping books. Then that would be the next Kickstarter.
Did you get her Kickstarter? Because it was fucking amazing.
Yes.
Like I've got,
yes.
I was gonna say, did you get like the hardback? Because it is stunning. It's so pretty.
Oh, I didn't. I just got the e-version.
Have you seen it?
No, show it to me. I've seen Joe on screen. You may not be able to pull it. But
I'm just trying to see where it is. It's in my blur section. Let me just see if I can.
Don't worry about it. No, don't worry about it.
I got it. It's amazing. It's absolutely stunning, and it feels like silk, but like everything is full color. It's so good. Hang on and look at some of the pictures. Like quality. Seriously.
My God.
It's incredible. It is incredible.
I have a list
you've got to do it.
I have a list of things that I would do for the New Zealanders Kickstarter, which would be smaller, but I had not put a hardcover like that. I had put a hardcover on there, but not that beautiful kind. But now I want to do it because mine is also a memoir and I would have some color pictures, and that is so cool. And also, I just really love the way that she did it.
Yeah. And did you listen to her lessons learned episode? Because there were
not yet.
A ton of great. Make sure you do before you go into it.
I will. Are you thinking about kickstarting something?
No. No.
Not yet.
No. Not yet.
All right.
We
So
all
this
know
time,
how well I stick to stuff. Go on. Anyway, you wanted to pick my brain.
Oh, I think that. I think I just wanted to pick your brain to see if you think that doing a trial balloon with a memoir of moving around the world with a Kickstarter is worthwhile. I can see why it wouldn't be worthwhile, because I would put my, like Kickstarts don't start until you hit a certain level. So I would put the I need to make $5,000 to make this worth my time. And if it doesn't hit $5,000, then I don't have to do it. And if it hits $10,000, then that is a decent advance on doing this, which I have already, Sacha, received an advance for, because these are Patreon essays. So, that I'm collecting into this book. So, I mean, I would be getting paid a bunch of different ways. I'd be getting Patreon pays, and the Patreon patrons would be getting the book as well. And then there would be the Kickstarter, and then there would be the eventually putting it up online. And that's a bunch of different ways to get paid for this work. And I love that about it.
Yeah, and the hard work's already done because it's written, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. So then I don't see why you wouldn't do it. That sounds like a genius way of doing it. Yeah. Okay. That sounds incredible.
All right.
The thing that scares me most about Kickstarter is the shipping price, getting the shipping pricing. That's the thing that makes me shit the bed a little bit. And I think until I've got some headspace, I can't.
But I think that they have adjusted for that now. Like the people who would want a hardcover shipped book, they're eating the shipping cost. And if they don't want to pay for that, then they don't get that.
But you as the Kickstarter creator have to set the shipping price.
Right.
And that's the bit that bothers me. That's the bit that scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously I wouldn't want to end up. And that was one of the things that I did take from Joe's podcast episode as well. Is like, you really need to make sure you weigh it and package it. And I don't know. Well, I listened, and I've got to take notes and go back. Not that I'm doing one. I'm not doing one. I'm just saying, like,
me, Joe and I are just like trickling water onto your rock. It's going to, and then you're going to break someday, and then you'll have like a $500,000 Kickstarter.
Oh my God, that would be incredible. Smutty lesbian books. And not safe for work art. That would be amazing. I just want a Kickstarter for not safe for work art, please.
My jaw just dropped. You could do the smallest Kickstarter, funded at $3,000, but get this not safe for work art, pay the artist, do it all digitally, get the stickers made, and a couple of limited edition enamel pins. Bob's your uncle. You're done. Boom.
Oh my God, stop it. You are such a...
But you do it for the package. So for when the third book comes out, you get the omnibus, you get the that would be a
really
tier.
Want the audiobook done as well. No. Rachel, stop. No. Get out of my brain. And Joe, I know you're listening. You're naughty, the pair of you.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so by the time we meet next time, I will have figured out something to do with April, either publishing a book or revising that. And then May, I want to be thinking about Kickstarter. That's my month. What about you? What are your, so by the time we talk next month, well, you will have traveled a few times.
Yeah, so I basically don't start drafting again until the 24th of April. So I may not even have started. I may have just started or not started yet. So mostly my month will be like marketing, presentations,
Plotting a bit.
plotting, all of the plotting, and inputting. I'm trying to like literally hoover romantic competitions at the moment. So that will be my month. And the Financial Feminist, did you ever finish it?
I didn't. I really liked it, and I will finish it eventually. And I would love to talk to you about money. Can we bookmark next month talking about money? Like, I want to talk about like what are your financial goals? What does financial freedom look like to you? I would love to talk about that with you. Do you like that idea?
Yeah. Fuck off millions. That's how much, by the way. So
I want
money that you just tell anyone to fuck off.
That is, yes. I want details. I want numbers. I want the plan.
Okay.
All of it. Okay, my friend. What a
All right,
delight to talk to
perfect.
you. I'll see you next
I will
month.
catch you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.